Think about the last significant goal you failed to reach, the routine you abandoned, the commitment to your own health or wealth you let slide. Now be brutally honest. Why did you fail? The typical answers, lack of motivation, lack of time, external interference, are all lies. The true, painful core of every significant failure is one simple internal corrosion. You broke a promise to yourself. You would never treat a vital business partner, a spouse, or a best friend with such casual contempt. Yet you betrayed the one person you rely on absolutely, your future self, with stunning regularity. Self-reliance is the foundation of all true power, and self-reliance begins with self-trust. If you cannot trust yourself to do the small, boring, disciplined tasks you commit to, you are operating on a foundation of sand. You are constantly eroding your own confidence, and you are guaranteeing self-sabotage. This is not a feel-good talk. This is the complete framework to eliminate that self-sabotage and forge an unbreakable bond with the person you are becoming. We will decode the 7 core principles that turn a fragile intention into an ironclad commitment. You are listening to a special presentation from the Zenith Voice. It's time to stop negotiating with your weakness and start building a life where your word to yourself is the highest law. The first and most critical concept you must understand is the integrity index. Your relationship with yourself is constantly being calibrated by your mind. Every promise you make to yourself, no matter how small, getting up on time, reading a chapter, eating a healthy meal, is a transaction. Keep the promise, the integrity index goes up. You build self-trust. Break the promise, the integrity index goes down. You build self-contempt. When your integrity index is high, you feel confident, focused, and capable. Your mind assumes that when you say you will do something, you will execute it. When the index is low, you live in a constant state of low-grade self-doubt. Your mind literally does not believe you, making every new goal feel like a heavy, hopeless lift. The hard truth: the value of a promise is not determined by its size, but by its execution. A broken promise to yourself about a 5-minute task is just as damaging as breaking a promise about a 5-year goal. You must become hyper-vigilant about the small, daily commitments. This is where the battle for self-trust is won. Do not make sweeping, motivational commitments like, "I'm going to run a marathon and write a book this year." Instead, focus on the minimum viable promise, the smallest action that guarantees progress and can be executed even on your worst day. The MVP is, "I will lace up my shoes and walk for 5 minutes." The MVP is, "I will open the laptop and write 100 words." When you consistently keep these small promises, your integrity index begins to climb. You rewire your brain to associate your intentions with inevitable action. Start small, win daily, and watch your ability to execute on massive goals solidify. The discipline required to manage small promises is the same discipline required to manage a great life. We often focus solely on the moment we break the promise, the moment of surrender. But true self-sabotage is not a single moment of weakness. It is a failure of architecture. The second core principle is to understand that you failed the promise long before the moment of decision arrives. A promise is broken when the environment, the schedule, or the mental state is not set up for success. You fail when you rely on willpower alone, rather than a foolproof system. The hard truth: you are not a weak person, you are a person with a weak system. Your failure is not a moral one, it is an engineering problem. The unstoppable person recognizes that their environment is the most powerful determinant of their behavior. They don't rely on being strong enough to resist the ice cream. They simply don't buy it. They don't rely on resisting the distraction of their phone. They physically remove it from the room during their focused work block. Ask yourself, how did I set myself up to fail this promise? If you broke the promise to exercise, was your gym bag packed the night before? Was your alarm set out of reach? If you broke the promise to work on your craft, Did you schedule the block in your calendar? Did you turn off all notifications? Mastering this principle means moving from a reactive mindset, I hope I'm disciplined today, to a proactive mindset. I have made it impossible to be undisciplined today. Your job is to build a high-integrity environment that makes keeping the promise the path of least resistance. Eliminate the choice, and the promise remains intact. The primary reason ambitious people break promises to themselves is that they allow tiny, seemingly harmless exceptions. The third principle is the absolute adherence to the 100% rule. Once the promise is made, there are zero exceptions. The human mind is a master of negotiation. It says, just this once, it won't matter, I'll get back on track tomorrow. This is the 98% trap. When you allow a single exception, you validate the possibility of a second one. You train your mind that the rule is conditional, not absolute. The hard truth, it is easier to adhere to a rigid 100% rule than to maintain a flexible 98% rule. Rigidity is easier than constant vigilance. Consider the difference. 100% rule, I do not drink alcohol, ever. Decision made once, effort required, 0. 98% rule, I only drink on special occasions, or when I'm stressed, or when my friends insist. Decision must be renegotiated every single day. Effort required, exhausting. For any core promise, be it sobriety, daily writing, exercise, or a financial savings target, it must be an absolute line in the sand. There is no cheat day. There is only adherence or betrayal. The 100% rule removes the necessity for willpower and replaces it with identity. You are not someone trying to be healthy. You are a healthy person, and healthy people execute the promise. The moment you start treating your commitment as a sliding scale, you invite negotiation. Negotiation always favors your immediate, weaker self. Your job is to eliminate negotiation entirely by treating the promise not as a goal, but as an immutable law of your personal constitution. Inevitably, life will intervene. You will get sick. An emergency will derail your schedule. You will, despite your best efforts, fail to keep a promise. The fourth principle is the essential commitment to the immediate recalibration protocol.
The danger is not the single failure. The danger is the second failure. The spiral where you use the first mistake as an excuse to quit entirely, often saying, well, the day is ruined now, I'll start over next week. The hard truth. A single broken promise is a setback. The decision to use that failure as an excuse for continued surrender is self-sabotage. The IRP is a set of mandatory steps when a promise is broken. Stop the bleeding. Immediately halt the self-sabotaging behavior. Stop the spiral. No self-pity. Do not spend time on regret, shame, or self-flagellation. Your past mistake is a data point, not a verdict. Execute the next micro-win. Immediately identify the smallest possible win you can achieve right now. If you skipped your 2-hour workout, do 10 push-ups. If you ate a bad lunch, immediately plan and execute a perfect, healthy dinner. The goal of the IRP is to prove to your integrity index that the breach was an incident, not a pattern. You instantly restore trust by showing that your commitment to recovery is faster and stronger than your lapse in discipline. The most successful people are not those who never fail. They're those with the fastest recovery time. Your ability to stop a lapse from becoming a collapse is the highest expression of self-trust. Every significant promise you make to yourself will, at some point, become uncomfortable. The writing will feel tedious. The workout will feel painful. The financial sacrifice will feel restrictive. The fifth core principle is the practice of pre-commitment to pain. The reactive mind breaks promises when it encounters unexpected resistance. The disciplined mind anticipates the pain and integrates it into the plan. They understand that discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a signal of progress. The hard truth. If you only execute the promise when it feels easy, you are serving your comfort, not your ambition. Before you begin the journey, you must accept the terms of the contract. I will continue to execute this promise when it is tedious, painful, and thankless. This practice involves two mental shifts. Anticipation. Mentally picture the exact moment you will be most tempted to quit, the 30-minute mark of the run, the third hour of deep work, the moment a distraction arrives, and rehearse your disciplined response. Reclassification. When the pain arrives, you must stop labeling it as bad or a sign to stop. Reclassify it as necessary resistance, the exact friction required to forge mental toughness. That pain is the sound of you getting stronger. When you pre-commit to the pain, you take away its emotional power. The discomfort becomes a planned checkpoint, not a devastating surprise. By embracing the inevitable friction, you prove to your inner citadel that your desire for long-term power is infinitely stronger than your desire for short-term comfort. This is where true, unbreakable will is forged. The bond you are trying to forge is with your future self. The key to maintaining that bond is a concept called reciprocity. The sixth core principle is the commitment to the daily reciprocity loop, the conscious practice of leaving a gift for your future self every single day. You break a promise to your future self when you prioritize the instantaneous, shallow pleasure of your current self. You are essentially stealing from the person you are striving to become. The hard truth. Your current self owes your future self a debt of discipline. Pay that debt daily. The reciprocity loop works by making a small, difficult sacrifice today that your future self will undoubtedly thank you for tomorrow. Tonight's sacrifice. Lay out the healthy ingredients for tomorrow's lunch. Tomorrow's gift. A prepared, healthy meal that eliminates the reactive choice of ordering junk food. Tonight's sacrifice. Complete the single most difficult task on your to-do list before stopping work. Tomorrow's gift, a powerful, easy start to the day where the primary resistance has already been overcome. This quiet habit shifts your identity from a consumer of comfort to a producer of momentum. By consistently acting as your own reliable partner, you build a massive reservoir of internal credibility. The person you are today is trustworthy because they consistently deliver value to the person you will be tomorrow. This is the definition of true self-reliance, a state where you know, without a shred of doubt, that you always have your own back. You have the framework. You understand that breaking a promise is not an accident. It is an erosion of your most valuable internal asset, your self-trust. Your integrity index must be guarded with ruthless vigilance. Your systems must eliminate the possibility of failure. Your commitment must be 100%. And your response to failure must be immediate and corrective. The world rewards the person whose word is iron. And that starts with the promises you make in the quiet of your own mind. Stop negotiating. Stop making excuses. Stop living with the quiet, persistent shame of self-betrayal. The only way to build a life of genuine power is to become the one person you can always, absolutely rely on. Your immediate action step is this. Choose one single small promise you have been consistently breaking, e.g., waking up 5 minutes earlier, meditating for 2 minutes, or drinking 2 glasses of water. Apply the 100% rule to this promise for the next 72 hours. No negotiation, no exceptions. Execute the minimum viable promise and start the process of rebuilding your integrity index brick by silent brick. If this message from the Zenith Voice resonated with the person you are ready to become, do not let this truth pass. Hit the like button, Subscribe to the channel to join a community dedicated to mastery, and share this audio with one friend who needs to stop sabotaging their own potential. Continue this work. Explore the next lesson in our library and cement your commitment to an unbreakable bond with your future self.